Assalamu alaikum. Sulman Rahim here. Welcome. Messenger of the Covenant, breaker of the seven seals. Sisters and brothers, we're going to talk about the demon plague, the demon genesis. That's be our topic today. The least we forget, Holocaust. Brothers and sisters, there's a concerted effort to squash true history. CRT. We'll talk about no CRT. First of all, it's not a theory. They call it theory to whitewash it. Holocaust. Does that look like slavery to you, brothers and sisters? That was horror. 24/7, 365, 400 years and counting. Estimate over 400 million of our people went through that, going through it. Holocaust. I'm not going to forget it. They want you to forget it. Doing everything they can to get you to forget it. And then when they can't get you to forget it, they want to whitewash it. Oh, slavery. No, that's what they call it, slavery. Read the Abrahamic covenant. There was enslavement and the persecution, the affliction side. They only want to talk about the slavery side. And so same thing with the chief demon, Farrakhan. Slavery side, not about the affliction side. Because that's what they're being punished for, the affliction side. 20 years of absolute abject horror. Terrorist nation. America's a terrorist nation. They want to flip the script. And now they want to hide their past. And they've been pretty much successful in doing it, especially with Farrakhan as their chief spokesman to you, screwing out his bio. No, Holocaust. Don't let them keep telling you about slavery. That's the economic side. See, that's the capitalist side. The capitalist side. See, the capitalist dream. Capitalism. Capitalist dream. Maximum profit, minimum overhead. That's slavery. It doesn't include rape, murder, kidnapping, torture, castration, you name it. So when a clear, make sure that's clear. I'm going to constantly remind you. But that's what's going on right now. It's all centered around that. Now they're being judged. They're in judgment now. As strong as the God that's judging them. Babylon has fallen. Babylon is in the process of fall. It's in free fall. It hasn't fallen yet. It's in free fall. But it's about to be hit the ground. In judgment. Let's talk about the demon genesis. First of all, you need to know what a demon is. See, no one talks about demons. Never heard anybody talk about it before me. It was like, fell in the same category as Donald Duck, Casper the Ghost. But they're real. And the scriptures tell you, for those who are believing scriptures, that's really real because that was Jesus' first battle with the demons. First battle was with the demons. Let me check something here. his first battle with the demons was a demon plague. Read in Mark. So a demon, they call it by different names, but the word itself speaks to it. Half devil, half man. A demon is someone who has a Caucasian father, but other than a Caucasian mother. But there's an exception to that. Because your mother may be a demon, your father may be Caucasian, your mother may be a demon, so she's really Caucasian too, but she's a demon. So she still produces a demon. A black-faced Caucasian, if you will. But they don't have to be black. Demons are white. You know? Michael Jackson. They can artificially become white or just keep breeding themselves. Now you see a lot of demons, they marry in Caucasians because they don't want their children to have to curse that blackness that they hate. They hate it. The curse of them, they hate it. Hate that blackness. Because they hate us. They want to be like their fathers. But they feel like their fathers not accepting them because that blackness that they hate. And they want to get rid of it as fast as possible. That's the scriptural meaning of circumcision. See? Because in this world, in this system, right, the 6,000-year period, you will not be successful unless you're circumcised. That means that black skin removed. That's what it's all about. That was only a 6,000-year period. Told you Jesus wouldn't worry about that kind of stuff. Anyway, let's start off. Well, I don't want to go all the way back through time because then I get talking about energy deprivation, that kind of stuff. But just suffice to say, that Adam was made 6,000 years ago. Adam was Caucasian people. It was made from us, right? They was given the ability to rule for 6,000 years. It's hard for me to really tell the whole story without explaining all of that, but then if I explain all that, we'd be here for hours. So you have to check the other presentations that I posted out on Facebook and on YouTube. But basically, it has this thing called energy deprivation. I'm going to briefly touch on it because it's very important to how this thing works. So as the universe expands and contracts, that's all it does, like a heartbeat, whatever. In the expansion stage, that means all the energy that's out there used to be here. As the Quran said it, in the beginning, heavens and earth were one, and then we expand the heavens. So we begin to lose energy. So at its full expansion, we at the lowest level of energy here. So we're weaker. And it's to the point where we don't have enough energy to maintain ourselves, maintain a civilization. It takes energy to do everything. You can't do anything without energy, period. You blink your eye, it takes energy to do that. So we went to a period of energy deprivation because nature by ourselves, we didn't have energy. Like we Lamborghinis, we didn't have enough energy to maintain that lifestyle. So a scientist came along, Dr. Yakub, he re-engineered some of our people to turn them into Caucasians. Stripped down version of us, still have the form, like the scripts say, they had a form of godliness, but denying the power thereof. They didn't have the substance, they had the form, not the substance. That's what it's trying to tell you. That's what it is telling you. So they're like, compare Lamborghini to Volkswagen Beetle. I mean, they both function pretty much the same. I mean, they both accomplish the mission to get you from one place to another, but they're two different things. They both have the same form, but not the same substance. So it takes a lot more energy to maintain one than the other. So therefore, he took and stripped us down until he got a Volkswagen Beetle, and now they had enough energy to rule and maintain civilization. A bad civilization, but a civilization indeed. Like I said, a bad water is better than no water. You need water to survive. Bad civilization is better than no civilization. They make mission shed blood. That's where Adam comes from. It came from us. We preceded Adam. Okay. So we're just going to go back to like 500 years ago. Between 500 and 600 years ago. When the Europeans were locked into the pit, they called chapter 20, called the abyss, 1,000 years. That was them. They lying to you, trying to test the future. No. They was locked in the abyss, 1,000 years. And they was locked in by the resurrected Islamic Empire, Abraham's empire, that was Mecca, Medina, Pilgrim, all that was established by Abraham. They don't want you to know that. Muhammad just resurrected. He didn't invent none of that stuff. He didn't invent the pilgrimage. He didn't invent the Kaaba. He didn't invent any of that. He just resurrected, restored it, right? Because they had descended into idolatry. So now you got Adam, and you got the original people of the gods, or you got the Satan, or the devils and the gods, or the angels. Yeah, at that time we're angels. Well, none of us was. And they gave rule for 6,000 years because the universe is contracting now. And it would take 6,000 years before our energy would be replenished to this point where we can maintain civilization again. Come together. That's why I say, well, nature be born in a day. That's us. And now we're at that time. It's in the process of happening right now. 1619 to 2019 would be the period of time we would go through this. That has happened. And 2020 would be a plague that would be the beginning of that judgment. It would start with one of 10 plagues. It would come with a plague that would kill the firstborn, which is the elderly, and pass over us, which it did. The World Health Organization, they published a paper a couple of months ago saying exactly that. Okay, see, they've been lying to you about that too. Okay, so it says once they came out of dark ages, they would go and cover the whole world, Gog and Magog. So there's been two world empires, two European world empires, America and Britain. That's your Gog and Magog. America's Gog, Britain is Magog, right? So this is all crap about Russia being Gog. It's all bull. Anyway, so part of their tactic for ruling is the common knowledge, even back then, that the man carries a seed. You are what your father is. And now they're trying to get you to disown that idea, or not even realize it, or diminish it, or whatever they're trying to do, right? So they went all over the world spreading their seed, especially here in this hemisphere, because all the people were dark all over the planet. And there was harmony, and pretty much harmony in every civilization. It wasn't having world wars and all that kind of stuff. So over here, the fact of that is that people became pretty much white. See? You see all of the Americas, right? South America and Central, right? Almost all white. Same thing happened to Arabs over there. See? But they was creating a new creation, hybrid, called demons. And part of it was just plain strategy. When it came to us, there was a lust component also. But this was just a general strategy. Because they knew that they could control these all the nations by disrupting them, by placing their seed in them, because it said an enemy would do it. Enemy would show the chaff amongst the wheat. What was called confusion. It would cause confusion. See? Tremendous confusion, because now you got two natures clashing. You can't put two natures together successfully. It won't happen. See? That's what it was doing. So now you got chaos, confusion, where you had harmony previously. So now you got a whole group of people don't like culture, don't like the way things been going for 1,000 years. All of a sudden, they want to disrupt. They want democracy. They want whatever their fathers want. And democracy itself is a clear hint. Demon, what does democracy mean? Government. Government of demons. 5 demons, 4 demons, which by inference also is devils, because demons are devils. In the word right there. It's not God's construct. Anyway. So they start doing that, and and that's the root cause of all the confusion in the world today. You got pretty much 2 classifications: those that want to maintain their traditional, historic ways, and those who want to adapt the new democratic ways. I want to be a Democrat. I want to vote and all that kind of stuff, right? But we're talking about the demon genesis. But all the while they're going on undetected. See? But nobody's talking about demons. And they're going along undetected. So they're doing their damage because they look, in China, they look at Chinese. Japan look at Japanese, right? And over here they look like, right? Whatever the Native Americans look like. So they was able to do their work undetected. And said they would do that until Suleiman came along and exposed them. It was like a 500-year reign in darkness, in secret, work behind the scenes, in plain sight. Work behind the scenes in plain sight. But you didn't recognize them. It was wolves in sheep clothing. You didn't recognize. You thought it was one of you. But you couldn't understand why sheep kept coming up missing. Couldn't understand why sheep kept coming missing. But it was like you, so they were, everything was cool. You didn't point them out. You didn't segregate them because you didn't recognize them. It was one of you. Might have been your mother. Might have been, right? Family members, neighbors. Okay, so then they sow the seed of confusion and chaos. Then, remember this is about 500 years ago. Then, stage 2. They grabbed us and brought us over here. Now, they say it wasn't racism and they want to call it slavery and all that kind of stuff. Did they enslave any white folks? Did they enslave any white folks? They want any white folks come and enslave them. No, it's a racist act, and the fact that we still here under their thumb, it still remains a racist act because we're not free. If you're in a prison and they say, are you free? And you still find yourself in the prison, how in the hell are you free? If you're still in the prison, you have to get out of the prison. But we're still here. We're still under control of the warden. We're still under control of prison laws. So we're not free. You're just told you're free. Oh, no, you're free. And you can go walk around. You can do whatever you want to do. Right? But you can't go outside you can't go outside the prison walls. I'm free, man. Look, man, I ain't in a cage no more, man. Y'all in a cage, man. See, I can do this, I can do that. But you're still inside the prison walls. And you're still obeying the prison rules. But you're stupid enough to think you're free. That makes you a fool. Still walking around with your prison name on. My name is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. But you're calling me free. Okay. Maxine Jefferson, Amos Jackson. They weren't even names, brands, because they changed whatever new master you was with. And you still walk around with them. It tells a lot. But they brought us over here and begin the process of destruction. Because it said they would go out after 20 years, right? Steal, kill, and destroy. They stole this land, they killed off its inhabitants, and brought us over here for destruction. Okay, so then began the Negro Butt process. Took 64 years, right, to transform us from Kunta Kinte into Toby. 64 years. And the first Negro bus came off the assembly line in 1619. Fully programmed to self-destruct, to obey master in every way, not to ask questions. Just do what you're told. Okay? And they had the terror butts. He was terrorizing fear of master. Who was they? There was the demons that master had waiting in the wings. And they're the ones that get plus close and personal, because they right in there with you. And they report the master everything you do. And they're the preachers. Obey master. The master tells you to do. They keep reinforcing that programming. That's the preacher's his purpose is to keep reinforcing that programming. See? Then you got the terror butts, because he's a terror butt. And they go in, and once you identified as you offline somehow, the terror butts come in for reprogramming, the adjustments, tweak that code, get you back online. If they can't get you back online, they deactivate you. Those terror butts. You got terror butts, you got the preachers, they're all terror butts, they're all demons. Those that monitor you, those that detain you, they keep you pacified. See, you think you love the entertainers, these sports figures. You ever watch the sports when they do the picks? What they call them, the picks or whatever? Ain't that what's different there between putting you on an auction block? You don't even see it, brothers and sisters. They're still slaves. They detain you. They detain you, right? Because they want you to run off. And you in love with them. They in love with you because where they live out with master and live next to you. You got the politician, they live off of you. And their purpose is to make sure, you don't get outside the ghetto. Control where you stay at. Keep you away from massa. You don't understand these things, brothers and sisters. They all got a role. Work on you. And you tolerate it because they look like you, and you go unsuspecting. Even though while you was in chain slave, you were suspecting. You just suspect. But they got around that too. Because they use our females to get around that one. This whole demon plague is diabolical. Because when they raped her, unless she somehow got rid of that baby, and she couldn't, when that baby was born, she's going to love it, even though she knows it was a product of rape and the master's child. But her maternal instinct will come in, it's going to override her reason. Her maternal instinct's going to kick in. That's the nature of a female. It's going to override her intellect. Okay? Now, it doesn't do it for all of them, but most of them it does. And so she's going to love that child. And going to convince you to love them too. See? They got around that too. So now, we got demons amongst us, and using the female to make us love the demons, identify with them. See? So now the preachers got to love a master. And our mothers and daughters and aunties, they got us loving the demons. Ain't their fault. That's part of nature. You're going to love that child when she come out, no matter what. See? And she's going to convince you to love him too. We got black brothers and sisters, and he's your brother, See? Demon plague. So now you got robots and you got terror butts. Terror butts still going on today, but freeing you. They rob and kill in your communities and everything else. When they let them out of prison, they let them out into your community. They know they're going to keep the terror going. Why let them out in your community? They don't have any jobs or anything. They know what they're going to do is return to what they was doing. keep you in fear, nervous, high blood pressure, afraid. All that fear is going to translate to massa. But you massa's product. So if you're a nigger, he must be the original nigger because you made it. He made you. You have to blame the manufacturer, not the product. See? So he made what he could make. He made the best of himself. Which, if you're a nigger, he's a nigger. That's what they produce. Chickens produce chickens. Hogs produce hogs. Cows produce cows. Angels produce angels. Beasts produce beasts. And niggers produce niggers. They're the original niggers. They made black folks. They turned them into Negro butts, turned them into niggers. But that's the best they could do. That's what beasts do. That shows who they are. You look at it, you can tell a lot about a person by what they produce. Because they produce is from themselves, from who they are. They look at us, look at them. Yeah, well, who made us like that? Because we sure were like that when we came here. So now you got the devil and you got demons. So now we're phase 2 now. Right? Negro bus and use of the terror bus of demons to keep us under control. Preachers, that's what they do right now. They're still preaching, love America. Remember what was his name? What was his name? Reverend the one that Obama was going to his church and they slammed him because he said, "Goddamn America." And when the preachers doing that kind of talk, they saw Martin Luther King waking up a little bit. They blew his brains out the next day. Told him, "Don't get that promised land speech." And that's what it's all about, that promised land, Abraham covenant. You need to read it, brothers, all of it. Not just the part that Farrakhan wants you to read. You read the whole thing. See? It's in old so-called Old Testament and New Testament. Abraham covenant is coming to you. 20 years, enslavement and persecution, affliction. 1619 to 2019, 2020 be played out, kill the firstborn. Happened right on time, exactly like it said. They knew it, they didn't want you to know it. That's why I got nervous, why everything changed since 2020. Because they have two frames of mind. They have two frames of mind, either get rid of you, right, or try to talk their way out of it. We're going to see more about that later. So now we got in place. We got terabots. See? He already got those produced. He can produce those. That's the demons. Got Negro butts. He produced those also. Terabots, they're in the community to monitor us. They're terabots, raining terror down on us, causing all kind of confusion and everything else. See? Singling you out once they realize something wrong with your programming. Get you back reprogrammed, get you back online. So, here's the terabots. Then, what happens? Then in 1800s, universe is in contraction phase now, right? So now energy returns to us. So we start being invigorated. See? We got enough invigoration to break our physical chains. See, we got upgrade. Let's begin the so-called official demon wars. Because we've been in war with the demons all the time. See? I always explained their functions. Keep fearing you. Keep you programmed, monitor your programming, preacher, right? Telling you to obey master, so forth, so on. Reinforcing your programming. Entertainers, keep you pacified. See? So you love them so much, you want to run away because you want to see Denzel on Saturday. Man, I want to see Denzel. Man, I want to see Magic on Saturday. Exploiting our women. They raping our women. That's why it says half of the blacks in America are demons. Half original, because they were exploiting our women. You could not even, they talking about jumping the broom and that stuff. Yeah, you could do that. But you didn't get married. You didn't sleep with them. You had no contact. That was incentive. That was incentive, unless you was a stud, just producing out slaves. Otherwise, it was center. So if you had to pick 5 bales of cotton, that was how many you do a day. Well, if you pick 6 or 7, you went overboard. So now you can sleep with Sarah on the weekends. That was all about. If 2 or 3 you did, and 2 or 3 you sleep with. So that's why you got this stupid stuff going on now. Some of you probably, I don't know, they probably still do it now. These kids still do it. When I was a kid, they was doing it, right? On the train, 2 or 3 guys, and the girls go along with that because that was part of our programming. See, we're not evil. We're not wicked. We've been programmed. So hell with you, Farrakhan. It says the accuser of our brother will be cast down. He's accusing us. We bad. We sinful. Right? The devil will just pour out what was in us. No, if it's in us, because they put it in us. See? These sisters, nothing wrong with these sisters. These sisters are valiant. They're heroes. And I'm their champion. On that note, brothers and sisters, I'm gonna have a serious talk with you in a few more days, right? Because for 50,000 years, they took your freedom from you. You've been subordinate. Once they left the mathematical standard, because you have to be mathematical, you have to be a mathematical standard to understand we're all equal. When you get in that religion stuff, all religions put you down. You see? And you sisters are the first one to drag somebody in the church. And the religion is what putting you down. You wasn't put down probably 50,000 years ago. You was equal to the male. It's religions that do that. See? And as long as you stay on the mathematical standard, that was it. But now you descended from that. And so now it's just raw pressure. Just raw pressure. And so the male, he's stronger than you naturally. And so he's not a mathematical standard. So you deal with him naturally too. So if you deal with him naturally, he's going to win. If you get in a boxing match with him, he's going to win. But if you get on a mental, right, then you can compete. So they took you off of that standard. And you're the first sister, you're the first one to drag me to church. And that's what's putting you down. Read that Bible according to the way they explain it. Read what the Quran says according to the way they explain it. You're a degree below. Religions do that. Once we get you back to the mathematical standard, but the point, that's the point I want to make you, sisters. You understand now that you got a champion and putting you back where it's your responsibility to maintain there. Because nobody's going to sit there and maintain it for you. Now, if you wanted to sit back and these old silly sisters out here running with no clothes on and doing all this shaking their ass and everything, then you wanted to sit back into that and be subjected after you've been given your freedom, then that's on you. Because these brothers will put you back down if you don't take responsibility, right, to keep yourself up. Stay on the mental standard. On the mental standard. It's harder for the sisters to stay on the mental standard, right? For some reason, but I say it's more difficult. But I say it's not possible. I'm not even saying I'm going to go there because I'm saying it's like, what do I say? Well, if you and a man go walking, he's going to lose more difficult for you because he's stronger. But the point is, you're still walking. So not put it this way. There's no problem for you to be on the mental standard. It's just the brothers have an advantage, right? It's easier for them to get to it, but it's your nature to be on the mental standard. Maybe I should say it that way. It's your nature. But it's also your nature to slip off it easier than the brother. That's why it's stripped you into when it took you out the mental standard, the brothers took advantage of you right away. Once you fell off the mental standard, took advantage of you right away. Because you lost your power. And they had you out there doing all kinds of stuff that you had no business doing. So you gave away your power. Because if you go out there and want to walk around naked and do all the stuff you're doing, right? The same thing was happening to the Europeans right now because they was given a sealed Bible as their guidance to maintain their power to rule, and now they slip from that, so now their power, because it takes discipline to maintain your power. You maintain your power through discipline. And we had 5 fundamental pillars of Islam. That's your discipline. So that means you maintain your power. If you go away from that, then you it's like having $1 million and you invest in it, and another person has $1 million out there partying all the time. So who's going to be most effective? They both have the same amount, but it's how they use it, the quality of it. So you have the same energy, but if you go out there and you want to walk around naked and do all the stuff they're doing and all that crap, right? Then your power going to diminish, and then next thing you know, you back in subjection to these bells again, and you dead to yourself. See? Because I'm your champion as long as I'm here. See? But the next God come along, how you know? What they're going to do? Can't speak for them. And hereafter anyway, nobody's going to tell you what to do anyway. So if you want to slip, nobody's going to force you to step back up. Then you put yourself in that position. And nobody's going to defend you. Because you have to take responsibility for yourself. That's what means being a God. I want you to understand, sisters. I want to talk to you more thoroughly about that when the sisters start rolling in. They're going to be rolling in a few more days. See? And I'm your champion. Get you started. Once you get back on that mental standard, if you want to slip back, you want to go out here and, jelly roll and all that stuff that, some of these people out here doing, and you slip back into subjection, that's on you. Because your responsibility to maintain your equality. It's your responsibility to maintain your equality. And same thing with your brothers. Same thing, I'm telling you, I'm just saying, I'm talking to sisters in relation to the brothers. I'm talking to brothers too, because it tells you in scripture, once you're given that guidance and you slip from it, that's your responsibility. That's what happening to the devils now. They slip away from their guidance. See, we're not under the law. But nobody's telling you, because your natures do good, but if you decide you want to start acting stupid and everything else, and you lose your freedom and you lose your equality, that's on you. That's your responsibility. Because I'm not going to be watching you. Right now, I'm taking responsibility for these sisters. And that's something I don't normally do, take responsibility for anybody. But I got to get these sisters back home and put them back on the pillow where they belong and make sure you brothers respect them like you're supposed to. Because you ain't been doing that. You ain't been doing it 50,000 years. So the sisters need a little help. Once they get in that mental standard, right, then that's your responsibility from then on. As long as I'm here, right, I'm going to be your defender, your champion. Once you get back there, it's on you, sister. You have to maintain yourself. See? I don't think you have any problem with it, to tell you the truth. I don't think you're going to have any problem with it. See? But I got to get you back there. Equality. That's what the flag says. The Islamic flag says justice, equal, freedom, equality. You think you mean equality? Like over here in, we hold these truths to be self-evident. All men created equal. While they having slaves, we were hypocrites like that. No, it said equality for everybody. It say just justice, freedom, equality. Males. We gotta get back there, brothers and sisters. But anyway, move on to the demon. So now we start getting energy back, and so we upgrade. And there comes the conflict. Because before you didn't really have that much of conflict between the demons and us, because we didn't know who they were, and they was doing this stuff in the background. They had a long run, right? In the shadows. Nobody even knew they existed. The devils knew they existed, but they was doing the devil's work. They were like spies, keeping us in control. That was their job. But then the first major conflict, because once we broke chains, see, then the demons start being exposed, but you still didn't recognize them. But now I'm telling you, and you go back and look and you recognize it, because then you had two divisions. Those that want to flee out the cities and want to stay back with Master on the now, why would you want to stay with Master? People knew exactly what kind of life they've been living on the Master. They knew exactly. But they said, no, who? Because these was the house Negroes. Because he put them out of the house. Once you were going to change, he didn't need them in the house no more. Because on their purpose was to keep you under control. But now you out, you're gone, so he put them out. So those are the ones that want to share. No, I want to stay with you. Okay, well, you got to be inferior, but I pay you and stuff. But they want to stay with Master because they wasn't in Master's house anymore. Where do you think they went? They was his children. So they became sharecroppers, most of them. See, and they once stayed with Massa. And others were getting the hell away from Massa. They fled to the seas, Canada, wherever they could go to. First conflict, first division. That's why I want to really point out this pattern so you can see it. Remember I said energy comes, as the Quran says, as the universe starts contracting, it comes back in form of waves approximately 50 years. 50 years, you get a wave of energy. It's heating up there. That's part of the reason why the Earth's heating up. But that's another story altogether. But energize us because we're a product of pressure. So the more pressure we get, the more energy we get, the stronger we get. So we start re-energizing, right? So we had enough energy to break our chains. See? But they didn't do it because they wanted to. They was going from agricultural age to the industrial age. That's the whole story in and of itself. They freed you who no longer need you in the fields. They got machines and stuff, right? Okay, so then about 50 years later, right, the 10 and 20s, right? Another break, approximately 50 years, right? Approximately 50 years, right? I said approximately. So we get energized again. So now you had two divisions again, Eurocentric and Afrocentric. You had two major divisions. Those black people that wanted Afrocentric, so I think Afrocentric, right? They was listening to people like Noble Drew Ali, Marcus Garvey, Elijah Muhammad, right? Master Prophet Muhammad. There was those people, and other ones, Du Bois and Booker T, all these people, they were saying Afro and Eurocentric. Be like white people, learn from them. Start act like them, talk like them. See? And Afrocentric start looking back towards Africa. See, back towards Asia. But they look more towards Europe, because that was the division there. Because now you're seeing division. See? And it already reflects in our music. Like I said, the first time they threw us out, they threw us off, they didn't give us any reparations, they didn't give us any severance pay, anything. Because it wasn't about you, it was about the North competing against slave labor. That's another story. But the bottom line is that when they threw us out, we had nothing. We had no money, no clothes, no place to anything. So we had the blues. Go check this stuff out. That's when the blues came along the line. We had the blues because we're so powerful and we don't know how much power we have. So it's the power is there, but we don't recognize it because it's our emotions. Music is special emotion. It's our emotion that's running the world. People been moving in the world by Chinese music? Are they been moved by Bach and Beethoven? Are they moved by our music? That the demons that took over when it first came out, right? It was more like, I mean, when you first heard Motown, right? It was like, it was mostly songs, love songs, stuff. But now, bitch, hold it. Because demons got hold to it. Same thing with rap. It came out, rap was like informative when it first came out. Now, I'm going to kick your ass, you hoe, you bitch. And the sister's saying it too. So then, then you had jazz. People was getting jazzy in the 20s, right? So getting jazzy. See? It's our music that's influencing the world. That's how powerful you are, but you don't realize it. See? They ain't dancing to Asian music. They ain't dancing to Chinese music. See? That stuff ain't going anywhere. Beethoven and Bach, they ain't going anywhere. Mozart. Anyway, then 50 years, then in the 50s, right, 60s, that stage, right, we come to Motown sound, but there was no division. Integration and separation. Martin Luther King, Elijah Muhammad. You see, that's the demons against the original, or the Negro butts against the terror butts. You see that division, conflict? There was conflict between the two. There was arguments. See, this is the best way to go. He had the demons infiltrating the black organization that was wanting to be separate, trying to deceive them and destroy them. For doing master's purpose. They found a lot with FBI agents and everything else. The conflict, constant conflict between the two ideas, the two natures. Might look like skin folk, but they ain't kinfolk. See, so in other words, it's starting to show. See, the differences become more stark. Wouldn't be more like, because after integration, right? When they got integration, what happened? They left because all of them was all together in the cities and everything, right? And what they do? They left, starts building suburbs out there with white folks. Because when I was growing up, right, in the 50s and everything else, they all lived in the same community. The demons and the blacks lived in the same community. The demons, right, they was professionals and whatever, but the doctors, whatever, they lived in the same community. But as soon as integration come in, they disappeared. They disappeared. See? And every time you see them, now there was a white girl in the arm or something, a white man, whatever, they disappeared. See? And then how, and did that make the girls, then they sent their politicians in, right? The demon, and they come in, and all they did was suck the blood out because they didn't do anything to benefit, because they didn't care about you. They just come and get your vote. Like this Kamala Harris. You know, I mean, I don't know if she's demon out, but the point is, since she's black, she ain't black, she's Asian. She's Indian. But they always use that to get you. Oh man, you just vote for me. What? Have you had anything approved for you? Even when Brock came along, he ain't one of us either. He's a Levite from Africa. They're all leeches. Because Master said, you ain't gonna live off of me. But that was his house Negroes, that was his children. Once they didn't have it, once we wasn't supporting them in the fields anymore, he told them, you ain't gonna live off of me, you can live off of them, because he threw us on a dish together. You can live off of them. That's what they've been doing. They improved their situation. Man, thing in Flint. See, they knew that situation was going on. They ain't saying anything. Somebody had to expose it, blow the whistle, and they still didn't do anything. And Obama didn't do anything either. They finally put enough pressure on him to go out there. He had a news conference. And they said this stuff been going for years, and it was really bad. And children were being retarded and everything else. You guys said, give me a glass of that water. You can Google it. I don't take my word for anything. Just go check yourself. He put his tongue in the water. Oh man, he done this water and got the hell out of town. And whoever that black congresswoman said, he better never bring his ass back here no more. He didn't do anything. Not to mention all these blacks that suffer from all kinds of disease and everything else because some kind of disease and stuff like that there. Because they build their houses stuff near chemical dumps and carrying on. That's no story together. And the demons will keep you on track, keep you online. Oh, don't worry about that, man. We're gonna make it. Things gonna get better. See, that was their whole job, doing by using chains to make you keep you classified. Then they got the sports figures and the comedians and all that kind of stuff, and actors and all that stuff to keep you on TV watching MSL. And they don't care nothing about you. They don't live with you. They don't marry you. None of your children. They don't come around. You don't do anything for you. Michael Jordan sell these shoes that you can't afford. See, they live out there with mouths. That's what they want to be with. They don't want to be with you. They don't be anywhere near around you. See, but they still got you mesmerized. You still programmed, still Negro, but you see the pattern? And Motown sound right, like I said, he had the division. And with that music, right? Start getting, hey man, I'm black and I'm proud. So you start getting strong, you get more energized. Start, because you didn't care nothing about your blackness before that. See, I'm talking about the original people. You didn't care about when Conqueline. Don't tell me. I grew up that everybody was conquering their hair. Remember, even what was his name? James Brown. Remember, he went and got him a fro because you didn't like your hair, you like your skin, like any of that. And all of a sudden, you got more energized. And so now you start. Hey, I'm black and I'm proud. Now your brother don't even want to come here at all. Now. You see, we're rising, but you don't understand the rising because it happens for years. Now we're about to break all chains. We're at the 50-year mark now, and that's why all this stuff is happening right now. Because it says momentum is in the heavens. The energy wave I told you about, momentum is in the heavens and earth, but it's coming above the sun. It means it comes, but it's got to percolate in the earth for it, right? Because the earth has to transform that energy into form we can use. Energize air, energize soil, energize whatever. The process happening now. So you're going to feel it. It says it's momentous in the heavens and earth, but coming above the sun. You're going to feel it. going to burst through. That's what I said, going to change in a twinkle of an eye. But the energy wave will hit you so fast in a minute, you're going to be so energized. Because what happened? Anybody was around 6, suddenly out of nowhere, bam, you had all this activity going on. They call it so-called civil rights, but all the activity out of nowhere, just like overnight. And the same thing back in the Marcus Garvey, and those guys came along, all of a sudden overnight, right? You had that distinction. Oh, that mind, what I call it, energizing. Because then all people start thinking about blackness and say Eurocentric and Afrocentric had a division. See? So you're gonna hear it and say, I'm telling you now. I'm warning you, because it's about to happen. It says you're gonna change a twinkle of an eye. So our nation's gonna come together in one day. See, the energy gonna hit you. See, but it surprised America because they didn't see it coming. Bam! All these leaders pop up. All these speakers pop up. All this stuff. Elijah had been warning you about it. Then bam, there it was. Out of nowhere. All of a sudden, like Marcus Garvey them came along out of nowhere. Just bam, what's this? See, all of a sudden, Marcus Garvey, Martin Luther King, not Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Elijah, Master Muhammad, out of nowhere, Ali. So now there's something about to happen right now. See, and I'm telling you in front. See, but it's going to be two divisions. See, one division. See, I'm always setting this tone for one. See, because right now you don't see it right now, but very soon you're going to see they're going to be flocking in to this message. And companies, like the Quran says, trainloads, wherever you have it, by the thousands. See, but you'll have another conflict. See, and that's going to be the final conflict between us and them. That's going to be violent. See, each one became stronger and stronger and stronger. You think integration, that was violent. There was a lot of violence there, but a lot of violence not between just blacks and whites, but between blacks and blacks. See? They hide that from you because that was division. One wanted integration and one wanted separation. One integration, separation. And then you had a meeting between the leaders, Martin Luther King and Elijah Muhammad. We had a picture trying to convince each other, right? But you couldn't convince each other. It seemed like Elijah Muhammad got the king a little bit. See? He made a mistake on speaking about separation and blew his brains out the next day. But talking about the promised land speech, he got that from Elijah Muhammad. So maybe he wasn't a demon. I don't know. I'm not going to check history. But the point is, he went out like an original because he spoke the promised land speech, and that was bold. That was bold. You don't know how bold that was. Because you don't see all the preachers talking about it. They told not to talk about it. That's the Abrahamic covenant. They told not to talk about it. He talked about it the next day in his head, but they blow his head off. That's the Abrahamic covenant I've been telling you about. Promised land speech. What you talking about that? So maybe he wasn't a demon. I don't know. But that's where he went out like original, but he lived like a demon. Anyway, you had two representatives of both movements. There was violent clash between the two because one wanted to be with Massa, one didn't want to be with Massa, and then you had people infiltrating from one side, going and all the stuff that was going on, right? And trying to, because the demons they wanted us to shut up because you hurt, man, you messing everything up, man, for us, man, you messing everything up, man. Well, man, where are you going? Going back to Africa? Just make white man hate us. All this stuff. They go to be a master. See, a lot of them was often a lot of brothers. You don't know the whole half of it. Let me get to the main menu here, main subject. So what's happening now? It's going to be a violent clash. It's teaching in Exodus. A violent clash. See? But Farrakhan's not going to be the leader of it. He's going to be the leader of it to a certain extent. See? But there's a dynamic speaker coming out, right? As a Christian, he's going to be Martin Luther King on steroids. And Farrakhan, they're going to hang with him. See, he's going to speak for demons. But see, he ain't going to want. See, remember, the first one, right? They wanted, they just wanted to be shared with Master. Second one, right? They want Eurocentric. Next one, they want integration. They trying to get closer and closer to massa, right? But this one, they want more than that. They want reparation. They want to take the country. They want to control the country. You hear them out there, you always see signs of it already. It's Black Lives Matter and all that kind of stuff. They want more than integration. See, they want control. You see them? Supreme Court. You never seen anything like this before? Went for governor, went for president. See? So-called democratic, I would tell you democratic, right? Democratic means government type demon, right? It's a government for and by demons, by influence devils, democracy. Well, you better pay attention to these words. See? They want control. They're going to be very violent in it. Very violent in it. They're going to be violent against us. Because we inhibit their ability. See, they're going to, particularly me. But Farrakhan go along with it because he already telling you, we ain't going nowhere. This country belongs to us. But Mr. Farrakhan, let me ask you a question. You say the fall of America. Do you read it? It says in chapter 18 that America will be burned down with fire. So the heart is going to be burned down with fire. It says Mystery Babylon and how you call it, we burn down utterly with fire. So if they're going to whole country burn, why we want to inherit a country that can be burned down with fire? Please ask me that, liar. Explain that one to me. Why we want to inherit a country that's destined to be burned down with fire, totally, utterly. That's what scriptures say. Anyway, that's the deal. They'll be very violent. You ain't seen no violence yet. You think George Floyd? No, you ain't seen no violence yet. Be very violent. Very violent. Insurrection in this country. And violence against us. See? Because all blacks can be raised up together. See? Because they're going to be still identifying themselves just black. I'm the only one making that distinction. See? So that's why they're going to be angry, because they want all other blacks to think like them. You black men, come on, man. We got to help us take this country, man. Because they're going to be violent. Someone's going to be taking them arms. They're going to be violent. I'm telling you. And if you don't go along with them, then you Uncle Tom. That's what they're going to be calling you. Because you don't go along with them wanting to kiss Massa's ass. Build him with Massa. See? But they're going to try to take the country, but they ain't taking it because they're taking it to be close to Massa. They want to be equal with Massa. They don't want no basic equality anymore. They want control. See? They still want to be here with Massa. That's kind of, you say, well, oh, no, you better think about that one. It makes sense. See? It's like, got an unruly child, right? He still want to be in the house, but he want control of the house. He just want control. He still want to be in there with mom and dad. He just want control. He still love mom and dad. He just want control. He don't want to be under mom and dad's thumb anymore. See? They still want to be here. They still love America. They still want to be Americans. They want to raise a flag and everything. They just want more control. They want control. And when you don't go along, they're going to fight. They're going to kill you. They're going, oh man, what you, Uncle Tom? You don't help take over America. America belongs to us. You a Farrakhan saying America belongs to us. Well, okay, if America, listen to what he's saying. He says, America belongs to us, right? Well, how the hell are you going to get it? Are you going to sit around and vote for it? You don't have the numbers? So how are you going to get it? You better read between lines, brothers and sisters. He's already talking that stuff already. They're going to take over. You got to take it over. How long is this going to be? 100 years from now? He said, it belongs to us. If it belongs to us, that means you got to take it back. You better listen to this stuff carefully. I said we get closer and closer. I'm going to break this stuff down so clear. Some of you understand now, actually. And they'll come at you like that. We don't Uncle Tom's because we want to get the hell out of here. But we don't go along with them. They ain't cause Uncle Tom want to get out of here. They call us stupid niggas because we want to get out of here. They cause Uncle Tom because we don't help them fight to take over America. See? But that's all right. It cause what they want to. See? Because I'm the leader. I'm going to be the leader. I am the leader. They're coming to me. And I ain't put up no bullshit. They can call whatever they want to do. Because they mess around because they cut their damn tongues out. They mess with the wrong people now. especially mess with me. See, they want to see FY. They ain't seen one yet because that was the Farrakhan that want to be that. That's garbage. See, because read next to it. It said we went to war with each other. It said those with Elijah and Joshua, they went to war with Aaron and all his followers. And they wiped them all out, families and everything. We're going to war, brothers and sisters. Demon Genesis. We're going to war with them. It says the thrones are cast down. That's the opening stage. The dispossess Farrakhan to get them out of there. See, and once he gets out, he's gonna run over to whoever this person is, right? That's gonna be Martin Luther King on steroids. He's gonna run over there with them, him and all his demons. They're gonna be with them against us. See, trying to take over America, whatever they're trying to do. What's gonna end up in a, but first they'll be war with us, and we're gonna defeat them, and get them, finally kick them out away from us. See, they ain't gonna be slide in, hide in, because I can identify them. I got demon radar. I got demon radar. I recognize. I can smell them. They can't get past me. So once that happens, right? Then they go to war. Because we reject them, we defeat them. So now they go back to their war with Massa. That's it about. Please don't make me lead a country in Mark. And then what happens? They say, okay, they want to go with their swine dads. Then they get to fight and they run off the cliff together. That's the 5-month, they talking about the 5-month locust war. That's it. But they're going to go to war with white America. There's going to be a race war, not just that one, right? That's not really a race war because they're really both of them the same race, actually. There's going to be a race war. That's just part of it. But the primary war is going to be between them. It's going 5 months. 5 months. All the while, America's in war in Europe. That's the real war I'm getting. The wars take place in Europe. They war in Europe, right? They grab them, a lot of them, and they have them throw them over there in that war. Okay? A lot of you don't know any better. And meanwhile, China, India is on the rise, and they're moving in on the West Coast. But that's what the demons are. The demons are destroyed. Master destroys them. After 5 months of war, they defeated just in time for China, India to roll in on the West Coast. Put this country on the siege, the worst they've ever seen. They've eaten each other, forced eventually to destruction, and the whole country is burned down to a crisp. Demon Genesis, brothers and sisters. I think I gave you the walkthrough. I think I gave you the bottom line here. But we're going to war with them. But more likely, they're going to go to war with us. See? So at this time, right, remember we went to different stages, then went to separation and integration, and now we're going to, we actually leaving. They staying. We're leaving this time. We ain't talking separation, we're leaving on this one. It says Michael, at that time, Michael will rise, the time of unprecedented trouble, and he delivered everyone in the Lamb's book, my book, right? We're leaving, they're staying, and they go to war with Massa. Read Mark, right? Jesus leaves. What happens? Demons, right? They go to, with their flying daddies, they get to fight and go off a cliff together. And then the specific one they're talking about there, they're not talking about all the original nation there. They're talking about those supposed to be following Elijah Muhammad that was deceived by Farrakhan. They was deceived by the demons. He moved David because he's going to take over the NOI. That's the first getting rid of. I said it was 2 steps. First, you got to get them out of there. See, that's part of the resurrection. Get them out of there. See? But those, once they were not allowed to leave, they had to go to tribulation. That's what it said. That's what it said. It was 2 stages. Remember, with Michael, he says, those in Lamb's book, they was delivered. But then those slept in the dust, right? Some to everlasting life, some everlasting shame and torment. That means they weren't delivered. They had to go to tribulation, and then they were delivered. You don't want to go out of tribulation. I said, you're long. You're going to be here doing locust plague, all that stuff. But once he takes over the NOI, and that says, the accused of our brothers are cast down. Accused of our brethren are cast down. The Archon's kicked out. It says, when thrones are cast down, and its ancient days is set, it's through the mind. He said, right? So they have to be cast out. And then it says, this gospel we teach, this gospel, angel, we teach in all the world, then it will come. So that's what's going to bring our people together. That's the resurrection. See? Those ones that leave, 144,000 is the number they give. It's going to be more than that. But they leave. See? That's the original people. They're the inheritors of the promise. They take it back and read the whole story. Once Joshua left, God said, okay, here's your promised land. You go take it. So now we got to go at war over there with our brothers, the Arabs, who betrayed us to begin with, take our land back. That's an all story together. But I wanted to talk about the demon. Demon Genesis. The demon end. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. See? So we're war with them, but it's going to be very pronounced in a minute. And then they're going to, like I said, because once we get them out, they know they're not going to, they know they ain't going with us. They don't want to go with us anyway. They know we ain't going to help them. And they can't defeat us because we already defeated them. See? So now they're going full attack, full throttle, engage with their devils, their master. And that's the mark, right? Cast into the swine. They fight and run off the cliff together. That's also, right, the Locust War. 5 months. We'll have 5 months. It's going to be horrible. All that stuff is going on because America been getting there. Armageddon's going to be going over it. Armageddon is a European war. It's going to be going over. Armageddon's going over there. You got China, India's moving in on the West Coast. No, about to roll in on the West Coast. Right? They got a race war going on in America besides the demon war. Because all the people that's here, all the Chinese here, all the Asians, everything else here, they're going to gather together enclaves for their protection. And everybody's be fighting with everybody. It's going to be a race war. But they would celebrate. I tell you, everything's backfiring on them because their time is over. They're celebrating diversity. They're going to be cursing diversity in a minute. That diversity is going to cause so much confusion. And they're going to be no, everybody's against everybody. And they're going to be obviously, they're going to be so, and it's going to be worse in many ways because the same thing's going to happen in Britain, but Britain will already be destroyed at that time. Britain will be totally ungovernable. It'll be so bad there, be totally ungovernable. It won't be no government there anymore. Just be I wouldn't say a jungle, right? Be totally chaos, be ungovernable. They won't have any civil control of anything. Won't be marked or anything. Just be told, and they know that's what's happening here. But it's going to be worse. See, but when China and India roll up here, and somebody else with them, I'm not going to say right now, right? Because when you hear that name, that all of a sudden everything else I just told you just goes crazy. When they roll up here, they ain't taking no prisoners. It says when the goat, read Daniel, that goat, that's what we're talking about. That goat came, it was angry. And it came with anger. Came with that ram with 2 horns. That's Britain and America. That's Gog and Magog. Hope you understand, brother and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Leave it there, brother and sisters. Again, the Holocaust. Let them fool you, brothers and sisters. When they tell me I was slave, that's a whitewash. CRT. It wasn't no theory. Stop calling the Holocaust a theory. See what happened to you. They're trying to whitewash, don't matter. Because they ain't going to talk their way out of this one. Hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Assalamu alaikum.